All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends, where truth matters. Excited to be with you as always on this weekend, right? This is Saturday, yeah, the 23rd. Almost November is over. Where time goes. So, anyway, so excited to be with you. I have an interesting topic. I'm going to be providing you my analysis about the Houthis as to why they are targeting Turkey. Oh, yeah. Whoever thought? There is a lot of background into this story. I know a lot of. I've read some reports and all that stuff. They never addressed the key issue. Really, the key issue why the Houthis are pissed at the Turks. And I will be sharing with you my analysis about this particular aspect. If you got any question, just put them on a super sticker and I'll answer them at the end. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and hit the notification button. I would greatly appreciate it. So let me just share some housekeeping items first before I'll delve deeper into this. So I hope you guys enjoyed my conversation yesterday with the only ones, the Warwick Bao. Here's a picture of him. And of course, Mr. Einar Tangen, another picture. So it was very interesting. And I had a conversation with Einar towards the end. And I'm thinking, what do you guys think? If I'll bring both of them, both gentlemen, once a month, like I do with Carl Za, I'll do them with conversations with Einar and Warwick. What do you guys think? Just answer in a chat box, please. Yes or no. So I like to have your feedback into all this. Also, be on the lookout on Tuesday. I'm going to have a conversation with Dr. Michael Krupa, rather. Mike. He goes by Mike, but for now you call him Dr. Krupa. Is the proper title, proper respect. That now he is officially holds the PhD doctorate. So my Dr. Krupa will be here on Tuesday at 12:30. I will be talking key important topic regarding Poland, Eastern Europe, Ukraine, and what's going on with the decision of the U.S. green lighting the use of the ATACMS missiles. So. And the last thing is my wonderful friend Carl Za will be here on the okay, why my computer yeah, my interesting how the computers all of a sudden freezes here. So anyway, I will have Carl Za will be joining me as well on the 29th. That's going to be on 29th at 7 p.m. So I look forward to that conversation. So, all right, let me make sure, guys. Okay, what happened here? There we go. Carl, as I said, will be here on the 29th. So I look forward to that conversation with Carl as well. So just I want to make sure, guys, please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. Everything like seems to freeze once in a while, and I get flickering once in a while. So first of all, I want to make sure you can hear me. That's what matters. Give me a thumbs up, please. Let me just see. Oh, Francis Tango, thank you very much. So now it's good. So let me say hi quickly to some of you, starting with you, Francis. You to you, super good to see you. Hang NG, good to see you as always. Dominica Massaro, good to see you. Anthony Murray, Elisa, Lois, good to see you. Mohammed Mazhar Uddin, good to see you. Hamad Sithi, YT, Matt Backy, Masnor, Truth Seeker, good to see you. Wonky C, Francis Tango as always. Famida, good to see you. Phil, good to see you. Phil. Athin Wu, and who else is here? C Slater, good to see you. Maki, good to see you as well. And Army with Harmony. All right, guys, let's get into our topic here. So. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be providing you my own analysis as to why the Houthis end up targeting the Turkish ship, which and I'll provide you my own analysis about this one here. So first, let's ask the key questions. And the key questions are, let me see if I put them up for you here. I'm supposed to have that here. Bear with me here, guys. Actually, I did not, but I still have them on. I'm just pasting them to the screen here so you guys can see. Okay, here are the questions here. Let me share it on screen. First of all, why the Houthis dislike Turkey? Or do the Houthis, no, I'm sorry, do the Houthis dislike Turkey? Second question, why did they attack the ship? Meaning why the Houthis attacked the Turkish ship. Third question, is Turkey playing both sides? It's a legitimate question to ask. And the fourth question, which you have to consider if you understand the politics of West Asia or Middle East, that is, what is the message of the Houthis to two main countries, Jordan and Saudi Arabia? Because you can't ignore that. Even though Saudi Arabia and Jordan don't have any ships crossing through the Red Sea, there is a message being sent there, knowing how both countries, Saudi Arabia and Jordan, are playing both sides. Are you going to trust what the Jordanian king is saying? Are you going to trust what the Saudi government is saying? No. That's my own conclusion here. So, all right, here's the thing. In addition to attacking, and I use the term carefully, in addition to, or targeting, if I may use the term here, U.S. aircraft carrier, which is the Abraham Lincoln. I have a picture for you guys here. I'm going to share it with you. This is a picture of Abraham Lincoln when he was crossing Bab el-Mandab. He wasn't on the Red Sea. He was crossing the Bab el-Mandab. Let me show you the map of the region and put it in perspective for you to understand. So look at this way at the bottom right there in red where it says Bab el-Mandab. This is like the cross between the southern part of Yemen where Aden port or Aden port is and Djibouti. I was in Djibouti and I could, that strait is so narrow, so close. And that's where the aircraft carrier was passing through. So the Houthis attacked the Abraham Lincoln in addition to two destroyers. One of the destroyers is the Arleigh Burke, which is a class-guided missile here. So let me show you a picture. This is the picture of the U.S. destroyer. So now here is where the complications of the issue comes in. So the Houthis did not hold back against targeting the Turkish ship. They didn't care. They said, because they argued, any ship that is doing business with Israel is going to be targeted. We don't care what it is. Even though the ship, had the flag of Panama, Panamanian flag, except that it is owned by the Turkish company. So you'll think about how significant something like this. And right away, Turkey already denounced the Houthis groups targeting of its ship in the Red Sea because the Houthis have already disclosed that the ship was not complying with the orders of the Houthis not to deal with the Israelis. So here is what the Turkish statement as of November the 20th or 21st, that is. Quote, we condemn the missile attack. Wasn't a march or drone, a missile. We condemn the missile attack by the Houthis on the Panama flagged dry cargo ship Andalusus. And here is a picture here, guys. I have the picture of the ship right there. This is the Turkish ship. Okay. It is owned by a Turkish company while sailing off the coast of Yemen. End of quote. This is what the Turkish Ministry of Foreign Ministry stated. So, and as I said, the Houthis didn't care We don't care. That's their argument. We don't care which flag it has, US or whomever. If you are doing business with Israel, we're going to target you. And that's exactly what happens. So this is what they end up doing on the 19th, as they target the ship that was crossing through the Red Sea. I think, this is my own opinion, I think the Turks were thinking, well, as a Muslim country, the Houthis will not attack us. No, they will. The only two ships, two countries, which two countries are given the green light by the Houthis to cross the Red Sea? If you can type that in a chat box, I will greatly appreciate it. The only two countries so far. Let me see what you guys can think of. And I know it takes a while for this to show up here. Truth Seeker, you got it. Hang in G, you got it. China and Russia. Charles, you got it. Famida, you got it. You guys got it. Turkey, Russia and China. That's it. Any other ship will be targeted. And that's what the Houthis, because they won't bluffing. So now, what happened before this was only a few days before, is that two Navy destroyers, in addition to the aircraft carrier. But here is where the difference is. Of course, the Pentagon said there were no attacks. And I'm going to show you or share the links with you and share the picture of where it was disclosed by the Pentagon that, yes, two destroyers were attacked, but they refrained from stating that the aircraft was also attacked. You all know why they disclosed that one, especially for the aircraft. The optics of it. Can you imagine an aircraft carrier being attacked by the Houthis? The optics of that? So, and this is why when the US disclosed that, and I have it right here from a military website. Okay. And let me open it and share it with you right here. Oh, thank you very much. Thanks, my dear. She brought me, my wife brought me tea. Chinese tea with ginger, lemon, raw honey, because it's the weather. So this is what I drink, Chinese tea. Oh, so good. Thank you. And here is what it says, guys. I'm going to show you the link where it is, and I'll provide it for you. Just I want to show you on the screen so you know where these things are coming from. Let me make this big, and I don't know if you can see. I don't know, you will see this. It says the www.military.com. That's where it's coming from, right here. This is where the picture, and I give the credit, by the way, picture to the US Navy. That's their picture. But here is, that's not the point. My point is what I'm going to read this first paragraph. It stated, and I quote, two Navy destroyers came under attack by missiles and drones launched by the Houthi rebel while they were sailing through a strait located between Yemen and Djibouti. Bab al-Mandab, that is, according to the Pentagon. Now, when you go to other sites, what you're going to see? You see that here is what the spokesperson for the Pentagon, Air Force Major General Patrick Ryder, said, and I quote, that the United States Military Central Command forces successfully repelled multiple Iranian-backed Houthi attacks during a transit of the Bab al-Mandab Strait, end of quote, which is connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. Okay? Why is this important to understand? Because it was only few days after this, the Pentagon denies that it was ever any attacks. So, who are you going to trust? Are you going to trust what the Pentagon is saying? I don't think so. And this is why it was an article posted by the Pentagon stating that U.S. military official confirms to Al Jazeera that no attack on the U.S. aircraft carrier had been detected. So we are left with the question: will the Houthis lie about this one. I don't see any reason why they will lie about this. Why will they do that? Knowing that the aircraft carrier usually tends to cross through that area. So, and I don't think so that will, they will not. Now, the Pentagon, on the other hand, will, like I said, the optics of it, they will not want to have major news outlets around the world picking up the story and saying the aircraft carrier of the US, Abraham Lincoln, that is, has been targeted. There is the second concern that, first of all, when tensions ratcheted up between Iran and Israel, the US went ahead and moved the US aircraft carrier out of the region. It's because they, meaning the Pentagon or the US for that matter, do not know who possess right now certain types of torpedoes or missiles that will sink an aircraft carrier. You all know Iran has that capability. Russia, of course, has that capability. And the question has always been, will Russia supply Iran, Houthis, Hezbollah, or any other entity with those types of missiles? This is the reason why, if I am to think outside the box, the Pentagon will have to lie about the aircraft carrier part, but let the story of the destroyers, because when you compare, if you put them on a scale on a global level, an aircraft carrier carries more weight than a destroyer. So if you are to eliminate that story of saying the aircraft, there was no attack on the aircraft, but there was an attack on the destroyer. So you kind of cherry picking the information. We tend to do this. Washington is notorious for this. I mean, if the Pentagon failed the internal audit for the 6th or 7th time, I had one of our viewers in the channel provided that information. 7th time now, the Pentagon has failed the internal audit. Why would we trust them? So, and this is again why I wanted to put this in perspective for you to understand. So when the Pentagon saying there were no attacks, no, it's a lie. So now this is where the Houthi spokesperson or spokesman, man, that is Yahya Sari. I have a picture of him. He's I think Major General. He's been known. His picture has been all over the place here. So Yahya Sari said, and I quote, the rebel said, he said, and I quote, we carried out an operation targeting the ship Andalus S in the Red Sea, meaning the Turkish ship, with a number of appropriate, get this guys, ballistic and naval missiles, end of quote. It wasn't about drones. It wasn't about some water. It was ballistic missiles and drones, that is. I'm sorry, ballistic and naval missiles, that is. So, and this is where the idea comes in, or the question that is, as to why. And this is, of course, came around after, as I mentioned, after the group, the Houthis, inshallah, that is, announced the implementation of 2 operations which took place about a few days before the attack on the Turkish ship, in which they described the 2 operations, or 2 types, which lasted about 8 hours in the Red Sea and the Arab Sea, or the Arabian Sea, that is, during which they Houthis, that is, targeted an aircraft carrier and 2 American destroyers. While Washington confirmed that the Houthis' attack on the 2 destroyers was addressed and that no attack was monitored on the U.S. aircraft carrier. So, and as a matter of fact, the Houthis disclosed this on platform X. Yeah, and I saw the video myself on the. I thought I had the. Let me see if I can. No, I don't have it, but I'll dig it out from Twitter or X, where it was a statement in Arabic language of this particular attack. But here is one thing I want to share with you on a screen, so you'll see with your own eyes. And I'm going to do it briefly, guys, because I have a lot to still to go through. Share screen. Okay, I'm gonna play it here. All right, I just want to share briefly this one with you. Okay, let me close this one here. So this is where that discrepancy comes in when the Pentagon saying, "Oh, no attacks," and all of a sudden you're seeing something. Now, will it be the idea of the propaganda stuff, whatever? Yeah, the possibility is there. Let's not deny this because we gotta be realistic. But on the other hand, I don't see any justification as to why the Houthis will lie about the aircraft carrier, knowing that the aircraft carrier left the region, meaning it was near the Arabian, the Persian Gulf region back then, before the tensions ratcheted up between Iran and Israel. We all remember this one. So this is where the importance of it. But before I'll do this, I'm going to get into some geography here because I need to put something in perspective for you. And the thing has to do with why targeting the Turkish ship. The Turkish ship is because it still deals with Israel. And here is where the idea comes in. It was an article. I was aware of it from way back. It still happens till today. But it was a great article by Dean Shumel Elmas. It was a great article. I read it. I'm going to share it with you in the description later on. So here is what you need to understand. Azerbaijan. What does Azerbaijan has to do with the attack on the Turks? Does anybody know? I just want to test your knowledge. Why Azerbaijan is in the picture of has something to do with this attack? Can you guys guess? Can anybody guess? Out of all the countries, Azerbaijan. Why that is? Oh, Matt Backy. Oil and energy. Oil and energy. You got it. Nigerian warrior. You got it. Oil. Because here is the thing. Here is the deal. Azerbaijani oil continues to flow to Israel via Turkey. The ship that was transiting was carrying gas for Israel. In other words, the Houthis didn't care. Doesn't care what it here is. What they care about is that, based on their statement, is that if you are doing business with Israel, we're gonna target you. This is what exactly the Turks were doing. Second question that we need to answer, which is a fundamental: why the heck is Turkey playing both sides? We screaming, when I say we, Turkey in this case, government, screaming about Gaza and so forth, and behind closed doors cutting deals in oil and ammunition and so forth with the Israelis. You can't be playing both sides. This is what I'm saying. Arabs, Turks are not Arabs, Turks are Turks. The Muslim world in general, except for Iran and Yemen, Lebanon to a degree. When you think about what they're saying about the Palestinian cause, whatever, it's hypes. You see the king of Jordan coming. We are working on a ceasefire. Come on, man. How long are you going to be talking? You've been talking for a year and a half, or almost a year for that matter. The Saudis, you name it. You got the idea. The Gulf states. Turkey is no exception. So, and this is where the key, which I need you to understand from a geostrategic aspect of it. Azerbaijan maintains a close relationship with both Israel and Turkey and is a major customer of Israel aerospace industries. And this leads me to talk about the geography and history of Azerbaijan, because without understanding this, it won't make sense to you guys. So let's start first with the geography, and I'll give credit to World Atlas. Let me just share the screen with you. It's very, very important to understand. I did a presentation about Azerbaijan way back. I remember a very interesting dynamics. If you only know what's going on in that part of the world, that we are trying to influence, we have been trying to influence and influencing behind closed doors. I've been in Baku, which is the capital of Azerbaijan, and it was anytime I used to transit through Afghanistan and all the region, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan and so forth. I have to go through Baku at that time. So, but here is the important things about the geography of Azerbaijan. So Azerbaijan is located at the junction of Eastern Europe and Western Asia, along the southern flanks of the Caucasus Mountains. It is situated both in the northern and eastern hemispheres of the earth. Azerbaijan is bordered by Russia to the north, Georgia in the northwest, Georgia, the former Russian enclave, Armenia in the west, and Iran in the south. It is bounded in the east by the Caspian Sea. That's why it's very, very important to understand the location of Azerbaijan. What's important also is that the idea of, let me remove this screen here. Also to understand is that Azerbaijan, as I said, is in Caucasus region, played a major role throughout the history, and not just Azerbaijan, the whole Caucasus area. So, and this is where you need to understand the history of Azerbaijan. So, I have two links, and one of them I read by Ildad bin Aron, and he's a historian of international relations. Yes, there is such discipline as the history of international relations. A lot of people would not know. Yeah, it's like the history of diplomacy. I used to have a friend. He passed away. I used to teach the history of diplomacy. So. But here is the thing about this history of Azerbaijan, because you need to understand it. If you understand the conflict of Nagorno-Karabakh, this is where Azerbaijanis finalized last year the seizure of the territory in Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh. That's why the whole problem about this region is. But here is where the connection of the two. Since the surprise operation of Hamas on Israel and the war in Gaza have taken much of the global attention away from Nagorno-Karabakh or the Artsakh region. And its essence, as the author argued, the Israeli-Azerbaijani alliance illustrates a pattern of cynically taking advantages of the escalation of mass violence in Nagorno-Karabakh and in Gaza. So, because here is where the importance of all this comes in, because you have to understand that history. And I'm going to open up a link for you here to understand this aspect here. Okay, let me start here. Now, Azerbaijan, which of course, I'm not going to go all the way back to 12,000 BCE. That's how far back it goes. Basically, the Stone Age era. So I'm going to just go to the era of the when the problem between Armenia and Azerbaijan erupted regarding Nagorno-Karabakh. And I will provide you the link. Because if you are to go all the way back, let's just go back, for example, to the 6th century BC. Well, what happened during this era? After conquering the Median Empire, Cyrus the Great of Persia at that time, what he ended up doing? He ended up incorporating Azerbaijan into Achaemenid Empire. So, which we became a part of the empire at that time. So, and this, of course, led to the spread of Zoroastrianism, which is a form of religion that is in the region, which is still practiced in certain parts in even in eastern part of Iran, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, this led the influence of the region, religiously speaking, and that's where because many used to call it as the Caucasian Albanians. That's what it was known, and this where it marks the increase. This period, rather, marks the increase of the Persian influence. This is why you see in Iran, as of today, the tensions that exist on the border. And Israel and the United States are playing both sides. They are in support of Azerbaijan against both Iran in this case, and of course use it against Turkey. But we'll focus too much on this one here because we want to focus on the idea of what took place regarding Azerbaijan and Iran. I'm sorry, and Azerbaijan and Israel, that is so. So here is what happened with the Turkey in the picture of all this. Turkey has not halted the loading of oil tankers at Cheyenne port, which is bound for Israel according to Israeli sources. So Azerbaijan plays a major role when it comes down to supplying Israel with oil. So via the Baku, Tbilisi, Cheyenne, BTC pipeline. It's known as BTC pipeline. So at the end of which, this oil, okay, is located onto tankers that brings it to Haifa. Well, who's end up bringing that to Haifa? Is the Turks. This is why the Houthis are attacking the Turkish tanker. So I'll give you some numbers according to the article here, and I checked them out. Just since January of this year, okay, Israel topped the list of destinations for Azerbaijan's oil. There is a lot of oil also in that country. So with about 523,000 tons worth about $297 million. So when you think about, let's go back to January to November 2023. Israel was in second place with about 2.24 million tons worth about $1.3 billion. Okay. And this is where the president of Azerbaijan, I have a picture of him right here. His name is Ilham, if I'm not mistaken, Ilham Aliyev. Yeah, that's him right here. Now, for this guy, he is playing both sides when it comes down to understanding why he has this kind of relationship with the Turks. So President Ilham Aliyev has excellent relationship with the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, but also he has a good relationship with. I thought I had a picture of him. I didn't bring it up. Of Erdogan, you all know what it looks like, right? Let me see if I have a picture. Yeah, I do. Let me bring it up for you guys to see. I know you know, but nonetheless, we still can do it the right way. So here is a picture of Recep Tayyip Erdogan. So this guy, Ilham Aliyev, the president of Azerbaijan, has a good relations with Erdogan, but also a good relations with, I don't have a picture of him, Netanyahu here. But anyway, the reason why he has a relationship with Erdogan, it's because of Armenia. Because if you all remember why Turkey always gets upset when the US Congress address the Armenia genocide, because the Turks frown upon that one. As a matter of fact, they get into some major diplomatic row with the United States if ever they mention that one. So this is why Ilham Aliyev of Azerbaijan maintained this two relationship with Turkey and with Israel. So, and also the relationship between Ilham of Azerbaijan and Israel has to do with Iran. Because that's what I said. He is playing both sides. So when you consider the relationship between Turkey and Azerbaijan, they are closed and based on the idea of this one nation, two states. Yeah. So, because why is this important, guys? Because you need to understand that the Turks, some inside the society are of Azerbaijani. I'm sorry, the other way. In Azerbaijan, peoples are of Turkish ancestry, of background. So this is where you consider the two countries, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. So this is why Azerbaijan maintains these deep relations with Turkey, and this is why the kind of the Houthis are saying we won't have it, we don't care. That's why they went ahead and attack the Turkish ship. It's very, very important to understand these dynamics. And as I said, they are not using marches; they are using ballistic missiles. So, of course, the mainstream media is not going to disclose that one because the optics of it, let alone if you disclose that the aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln has been targeted per se. So, the other aspects that you need to understand out of all this is all this one comes in during the interesting timing when the United States went ahead and greenlighted the use of ATACMS missiles. Those are the long-range, medium-range missiles, about 300 kilometers or so, 180 miles per se. When the U.S. did this one, and of course, our esteemed and competent, I'm being facetious here, right? Incompetent president greenlighted this because basically this is exactly what, which by the way, what Biden is doing is impeachable. Do you know why? It's because the president of the United States, according to the Constitution, has no right to declare a war by himself, because who declares war according to our Constitution is Congress, not the president. So for him to drag us into a war and leave in office, that's considered an impeachable offense, which in my opinion, he should be impeached before he leaves office. Simple as that. If we are to do the law, follow the law accordingly. You don't apply the law only on certain individuals, but not others. And this is where you see that double standards in American politics. And that was exactly what Einar Tangen mentioned yesterday. Or remember, the duplicity, that's why it's kind of the hypocrisy of it. Doesn't make any sense. So let alone the idea of a president declaring or sending this kind of missiles to Ukraine, basically declaring war. Well, it's Congress' duty to do that. That's why we, sort of the people, even though you and I know, if you happen to be an American, you and I know Congress is as corrupted as it gets. And those representatives there are not representing us. Take, for example, the example of this Senator Tom Cotton, the idiot. He's an idiot. Now he is threatening to invade the Netherlands because of the ICC issuing the order for the arrest of Netanyahu and Gallant. Who the heck are you working for? And second, why? If we are to say, well, there are international institutions, let them do their jobs. And as a matter of fact, they should indict also Biden, Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense. They should also be on the list. I don't shy away from saying it because truth matters. That's what this channel stands for. And I don't waver away from that because we can't be cherry picking the information here. I am yet to see the countries around the world that's going to really uphold the decision of the ICC for the arrest warrant. So far, I saw yesterday a response by the dictator of Canada, the prime minister dictator of Canada, saying, if Netanyahu comes to Canada, he will be arrested. Yeah, right. Can we trust what Trudeau's saying? So that's why I'm yet to see the countries that's going to uphold the law. But we all know, you and I know, it's not a mystery to you. You know, the international institutions need an overhaul. The whole system that was established after World War II is done for. We are, consider yourself, guys, I mean it, consider yourself lucky to be alive to witness the changes of history. It's happening before your own eyes. That we have closed the door on the unipolar system. We closed the door. It's not we are closing. We closed the door. We are now working on resetting the stage for how this multipolar order is going to operate. And this is what matters, because it will impact you moving forward. You are part of this history in the making. And I mean it when I say consider yourself lucky. Yeah, there is the other side of the danger that lies ahead regarding our action in Ukraine by providing them the ATACMS missiles, you know. And I'm sure Putin ain't gonna be bluffing about this. And like I said before, if I were advising, I will advise with one action and be done with it. As much as I am not in favor of this kind of operations, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do. But also it's a reflection of the end of the unipolar system, that we closed the door, and now it's going to become how we're going to build this multipolar system. How do we want it? And now the global south will have a voice, will have an opportunity. This is why I am wondering, and I'm, when I move around the world, just thinking of the conflicts and issues and so forth, I'll think, for example, of Philippines. Why is the heck is Philippines is digging itself into a hole by passing that maritime law that we all know what it means? You know, why the heck all of a sudden we are saying, oh, we don't want a China in Latin America in our backyard? Who the heck gives you the right to dictate that Latin America is your backyard? Come on. We can't do that. And the world has changed. You know, if Latin American countries wants to expand in economics and improve the living standards of their people, be it. And that's how it ought to be. We are not willing to invest in our infrastructure. We are not willing to improve our roads, our education, our health system, our tax system, because we are broken internally. The system is broken internally. How are you going to fix that? Well, you can't fix it till you fix the system itself. Politicians can be trusted. Doesn't matter. You keep replacing politicians, it's not going to work. It's the system. And sometimes I always give this analogy of a house. If your house, you get, let's say you have a 2-story house, and you start to see the cracks on the walls and all that stuff outside and inside. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to try to fix it. Okay, you fix it, you paint it again, and all of a sudden the cracks will show up again. Why? Because fundamentally, the fundamental structure of the building is compromised. So what are you going to end up? You have 2 choices. Take it down and rebuild, or just stay in it and it will crumble on you. And this is exactly how I see our system is. Yeah, it pains me to say what I'm saying about my country, but I can't shy away from. If I didn't care for my country, I won't be saying what I'm saying. But those shortcomings have to be pointed out so Americans can wake up. Most Americans, like I always say, are worrying about what's for dinner. The mental capacity, because this requires thinking. Brain requires an effort. And some of us, not all, are not willing to do that, because we wanted to have the information prepared for us, the analysis done for us, and even the conclusion is reached for us. In other words, we do not want to exercise our brain at any level whatsoever. This is where the problem is. That's where you, when you, to go back to my topic about the Houthis attacking the Turkish ship, you put it within the big picture. I mean, for Turkey to be saying, well, we stand with the Gaza and stuff and all that, and behind closed doors, you're doing the opposite. So there are those who are saying you can't trust the Turks. I'll let you decide on that. I will not pass judgment. I'll let you decide on that. I have my own reasons how I see the issues. Turkey has always been playing the both sides of, because of its geography, believe it or not. Its geography is determining its own foreign policy. Mark my word on that. As one who happened to had access to very, very specialized type of information, if I may use the term, without going into details. That is where that difference is. And this is why now you consider, with all these changes, like I mentioned, for us allowing the use of attackers against the Russians, the Russian president is going to react differently. The U.S. is concerned about where things could lead to, and Houthis are not going to back in. They're not going to back down. They're not going to back down. Doesn't matter what ship crosses that part of the world. So, and it will be interesting to see the dynamics moving forward. And because all this for Azerbaijan, why it's been supported by Israel behind the scenes, but also from Turkey on a different capacity, is because if you are to go back to just, I'm not going to take you back to between 1991 and 1994. This is where the issues started to emerge forcefully regarding the region of Nagorno-Karabakh, which was that, for those who are unfamiliar with the region, the conflict, Nagorno-Karabakh conflict in the South Caucasus, is sort of, it's has always been a long-standing territorial dispute that's between the two. And who are the two? Azerbaijan and Armenia. So, and that, of course, that has reemerged. Or even you can go back to the early 80s, 1980s. So, and the origin of this problem doesn't start in the 1980s. It goes way back. So, and that is because that conflict has gone through so many. I think I did one video about Azerbaijan. I don't remember when. It was a long time ago. Just check the channel, go through the videos that I did, and you should find that one. But there is one particular time frame, which was 1991 and 1994. And which this one here lasted about 44 days. Then you got another one in 2020, just 4 years ago. So, and of course, this one has subsequented what took place, the escalating tensions to the point of you can use the term ethnic cleansing that took place in that part of the world in Nagorno-Karabakh, which was in none other than 2023. That's how far, that's early as it could get. So, and this is why in the summer of 2023, there is a record for all this, guys. And I'm going to put the links. This is where Azerbaijan launched the assault on the Artash in the September after 10 months blockade. And who do you think supported Azerbaijan for that? It was Israel, in return for something. That's what I need you to get out of this video here, guys. The attack of the Houthis, the attack by the Houthis on the Turkish ship has to do with the transfer of oil from Azerbaijan to Israel, and has to do also with Turkey playing both sides, hypocrisy. And the Houthis did mention that any ship carrying anything for Israel will be attacked, including the US, British, and so forth. So, and this is what's at the heart of it. The Turks, I think, they miscalculated, thinking, oh, they are Muslim like us. No, doesn't work that way. Doesn't work. Because Muslims, they just look at the Muslim countries, the hypocrisy that exists. Where is this brotherhood they talk about? Where is this support for a fellow Muslim that exists? It's all a bravado, no more, no less. It has always been. It's because, once again, I want you guys to get this. I have nothing against any religion whatsoever. I just happen to think differently about religion. I put religion aside. I'll deal with things logically. So, because again, I've reached a point in my life where I had to question so many things, and one of them came for me regarding religion and how the manipulation that exists through this particular platform, religiously speaking. So this is what I want you guys to get an understanding of what is taking place, and it's not gonna uh, it's not gonna it's not gonna subside. Houthis will not back down, and Houthis, by the way, haven't even shown what they have as far as arsenal. The same approach Hezbollah is doing. As a matter of fact, Hezbollah recently just shown some type of missiles. I forgot to keep the link for it. Very, very advanced ones. It just makes you wonder. All right, let me see if there are any. By the way, guys, if I will greatly appreciate if you can support the channel. Remember, this is what I do here now for you. This information that I get for you, it's not something you just get out of whatever. So you all know the efforts and energy that goes into this to provide you with a brief analysis that will really, really broaden your intellectual horizon in understanding the nature of the issues. So let me answer this question by Phantom of Many Topics. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Your question is, do you think China will attack Taiwan? No. When you say attack, are you, just to expand on the conversation with you, are you referring to attacking militarily or otherwise? If you are thinking militarily, I say no. If you think in other ways of China doing it, yes. But still, the common sense tells me, how can you invade your own country? How can you harm your own people? How can you, no matter what some inside Taiwan are saying. I was there. I was in Taipei. I had a conversation with even law enforcement in Taiwan and asking few questions here and there. And I could just tell they just lost. They're really lost into understanding really what's going on as far as how the influence from outside players that are influencing the political trajectory of the island, that is. So I even said to some of them, where do you see the future of the province moving forward? And they understood that Taiwan is a province of mainland China. And again, it's not about defending China or Taiwan, whatever. I don't deal with that kind of stuff. I deal with what's logical and realistic. So I want you guys to know this one. So I hope I answered this, Phantom. Oh, Landrew, I want to share this screen with you. Check this out, guys. This is a super sticker from Landrew. I can't thank you enough, Landrew. I truly, truly appreciate you, and I appreciate your generosity. Truly, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Your question is, will Iran be the bringer of justice for Palestine? They're going to certainly pave the way. They're going to pave the way. This issue of Palestine ain't easy to resolve because Iran can't do it by itself. Can you imagine? And I'm going to just throw this out there. Can you imagine if the Arab and Muslim worlds unite? But they won't, because you have players from within the Arab and Muslim world undermining any effort. This is why so far, which countries that stands? There are only two so far, or if you consider Hezbollah as a group, but I'm talking country. You think Yemen and Iran. So Indonesia stated its possession, of course. Pakistan stated its possession. Malaysia stated its possessions, and so forth. We're talking about those in the region, in West Asia or Middle East, as is known to Western audience. And this is where, but yeah, because Iran has the capability. So, and they mean it when they say they are supporting the Palestinians. So, and they will be in possession to do so. But I can't count on the Jordanians. I can't count on the Egyptians. I can't count on the Saudis, the Emiratis, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria. Algeria to a degree. But the rest of some, again, I shall not generalize, but I can't count on them. So the answer is Yes, it can if it is supported. Iran will be able to do this. So once again, thank you so much, Landru, for your generosity. I truly appreciate you for that. Francis Tango, your question: will Ukraine send more missiles to Russia? They can send all they want because the Russians have already intercepted some of those missiles. What Ukraine does not understand, I think they do understand, and the West for that matter. Russia has some advanced systems that can intercept any type of missiles. And second, Russians now are testing some types of ICBMs. They're going to be tested on Ukraine, which means when I say tested, that means they're flattened. And I think, frankly, maybe that's what's need to be done. The one thing that I know for sure, Francis, is if we think that the Russians are bluffing, we are mistaken. Because so far, what Ukraine did, it just hit a region, an area near the border. It can reach Moscow because if it does, it's a major problem. And I don't think so. Russia's going to hold back because if Putin doesn't act, the Russians will turn on him. That's what you expect from a leader. You're going to have to defend the country by any means, because here is the thing: the Russians have provided the 8 security plans for NATO and the US, the 8 talking points. Of course, we disregarded all that, because here is the other thing you need to consider. Could it be that the Russian president is also holding back because he's the grown-up in the room? He's holding back till President Trump comes to office officially. Then they'll figure out a settlement for this. And if it is, that means, in my opinion, the Russian president is using common sense, is using rationale, is using pragmatism, because he's the grown-up in. Because remember, most of the. Do you know why Biden is not impeached? Because even some Republicans who are in support of supporting Ukraine, they know better that what the president did is impeachable. He can be impeached for it and should be impeached before he leaves office, old or not. And as a matter of fact, even ICC needs to put him on the list. So that's where I see it, Francis. Jesus Aguilar, thank you so much for your super sticker. Appreciate you, man. If the Houthis do sink a Turkish vessel, this will be used as an excuse for NATO intervention against the Houthis in Article 5. That is correct. But the Houthis also are not dumb. They're smart enough to know they're going to target. There are certain types of weapons that it's not meant for sinking ships. Now, I'll give you 2 examples. Russia and China. Iran, even to my knowledge, but for sure, Russia and China have certain types of torpedoes and missiles that can sink an aircraft carrier. No questions about that. I'm sure Iran does too. So, Houthi is going to be very, very careful how they proceed with this. Because we already, the moment that they started attacking the aircraft and the 2 destroyer, the UK and the US launched some air attacks on certain locations in Hudaydah and Aden, if I'm not mistaken. And Sa'da, that's where the Houthis headquarters is. But to no avail. Houthi is still standing. So because it shows that despite the West powers and so forth, it's irrelevant. Did we defeat the groups in Afghanistan? Did we defeat anybody in Iraq or in Yemen before? No. So, and that's what I said earlier, guys. Consider yourself lucky to be alive to witness history in the making. We have shut down the door on the unipolar system and opened up a new door on the multipolar that now we are in the process of waiting to see how it's going to be established. That's the way I see it. But your point, Jesus, is on point. You are on point regarding, yes, if something like that saying, they could activate Article 5, but I just don't see this one. You know why? Because that will show how weak Turkey is if it does that. That means Turkey couldn't defend itself. Because the whole purpose of this Article 5 is to gang up on a country. Yeah, we did it during 9/11, but that was just for show. So that's the way I see it. I hope I answer your question. So I truly appreciate you all, guys, once again, for your continued support for the channel. Here is a link for those who wants to support the channel or buy my books here, which, by the way, I did put the Russia book. If you want to take a look at it, get a copy of it. Here is the book right here. I am in process of finalizing one particular link to my speaking engagements. I will be sharing this with you guys because it's going to go around the world, in addition to what I've been doing. And I just wanted to update stuff and all that stuff. So this is the copy of the Russia book if you are interested in purchasing. If you want to learn more about the Turkey and Houthis and Yemen and all that, you can read the Saudi book or you can read the Iran book. Both of them, I addressed this particular topics. And this one here about the U.S. ambiguous foreign policy towards the Muslim world in general. It has always been. So those are the books that I write. It's not a science fiction here, guys. It's a heavy stuff, but it will help you see the world differently. It will broaden your intellectual horizon, and you start to see things differently. So if you're interested, I would greatly appreciate it. And my last thing I'll share with you is a link to the channel for Buy Me Coffee, if you are interested in buying me coffee. Once again, appreciate you all. I am going to be taking off on Monday. That's the reason I'm doing live stream today, because I have something to do on Monday. And I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday with my guest, Dr. Mike Krupa. So I look forward to that conversation. As always, guys, truly, truly appreciate your support. I'm very grateful to all of you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. As always, remember, geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.